Last year, fraud cases in the UK more than doubled, making 2023 the second biggest year for scams in 2 decades.
But have you ever heard of supermarket gift card scams? Well, they are, as we know, a popular gift choice and can be used to buy anything from groceries to electricals and toys. And they're usually located by the tills at the end of your shop.
And Action Fraud reported £13.5 million was lost in gift card fraud alone last year.
Well, one person that knows all too well the traumatising effects of these scams is Debbie Horwood, whose 80-year-old mum was scammed out of £115,000.
Debbie joins us now to tell us more alongside our consumer expert, Alice Spear. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Debbie, the first thing I have to ask is, firstly, how is your mum at the moment? Because obviously she's been through quite some trauma.
She's doing really well,
OK.
actually, all considering. She's got a lot of support and help from the NHS and friends and family.
So what was it that alerted you to there being a problem?
She reached out to one of my brother's friends to borrow some money, which was an instant red flag to him, so he made my brother aware. We then confronted my mum the following day to ask her why she felt that she needed to borrow this money from my brother's friend. And she said that she was helping a friend with a business transaction, to which we asked, who's your friend? Can you give us a bit more detail? And she said, well, it's an old friend from school, Richie Blackmore. I was like, why does Richie Blackmore need help from you, Mum, with a business transaction? It doesn't make sense. How's he communicated with you? I don't understand. You need to explain this. I mean, the emotional roller coaster that we've been through is just immense.
Well, I can only imagine. And this went on for quite a long time, right, over the course of a year or so.
Well, we've established that the transactions that are the most poignant ones were over 14 months. And I had started to notice a massive change with my mum over the last year with various odd things that she was doing.
Well, it made you worry that she had Alzheimer's, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was in June where she was looking after me following an operation, so she was spending a lot more time with me, so I was able to obviously observe more things that I would do ordinarily. And it really concerned me, so I did phone the doctors. I took her for a memory test, and the doctor had sort of... we come to realise that she's 80, and I just have to accept that there's going to be some changes with my mum. But it was really sad because I felt like I was losing my best friend.
Oh, goodness.
And to have to accept that my mum's old.
Yeah. But
This is my new mum.
So how did the scammers get in touch with your mum?
It started on social media. She'd put a post about cycling to school with Richie Blackmore because they came from the same area in Heston. And obviously this person has gone through her Facebook page, picked up the name and then created a profile with this picture, obviously done their research on school, Heston area. So obviously when they reached out to my mum, she didn't for 1 minute think it wasn't him.
So she thought it was Richie, who she'd gone to school with. He's the guitarist from Deep Purple.
That's right.
And it absolutely wasn't him, but she believed she was talking to him.
She was told not to tell any of the family because of his profile, and just keep the relationship, the contact that they had, just to themselves.
And this sort of gift card transaction, this is actually the first time I've ever heard of a scam, and we'll get into the details in a little bit with you, Alice. This is the first time I've actually ever heard of anything like this, and it's quite unique. So this could be something that's happening regularly and really kind of sort of fooling people. These were transactions that were happening daily in the end, right? These were sort of, I mean, £115,000 is a lot of money, and split that across a year. These were vouchers, and it was getting her to send codes. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, she would go into the supermarkets daily.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of monies that she spent on a daily basis was just insane. She would take the code off of the Apple gift card and then send it over on this app, communication app that he'd set up for her as well.
And she believed the code that she was sending was for some sort of investment into shares, into something greater.
Some business arrangement.
Right. OK, I think this is a good point to bring you in, Alice. These gift cards, and I've got to make sure, we see things like this all the time in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And these are being used in a fraudulent way that then hoodwinked Debbie's mum.
A gift card is a lovely thing. It's a way of giving a relative or a friend a present without buying them a present that they don't want. It's a well-established thing. You know, I used to get £5 book token when I was younger. But they are also tantamount to cash. So if you buy a gift card of high worth, an Apple one or a Google one, usually cashed in for in-app purchases or gaming, if you buy one and you give somebody else the code for that, you are giving them the value of that card. So what Val was doing was going into supermarkets repeatedly and buying £400, £200, £100, £600 worth of gift cards. You find the gift card on the stand, you take it up to the till, you load it with the amount of money, and then you walk out with it, and then she was obviously passing on that code. Once you have passed on that code, money gone. Money gone, money virtually untraceable. You're not going to get that money back, which is why they don't do it by bank transfers, why they don't do it by credit card. They come off the banking system, they come off all kind of social media, they take you into another place where they can manipulate you. And that's what they did to the point of, well, you can say what happened to your mum in the end. I mean, it's just hideous. But...
Go on, Debbie.
So 2 weeks after me and my brother found out, we had decided that we would keep this to ourselves and not tell my dad because he hadn't been very well and we just didn't think that he would be able to comprehend what has gone on. You know, my mum has given away all of her inheritance and, you know, her life was going to be very different after that with no sort of slush fund, so to speak. So we said between me, my brother and my son that we would keep this to us, keep her dignity and do what we needed to do to keep her happy.
Did you call the police?
Yeah, the police were informed straight away, actually. So we found out on the Friday and we contacted them on the Saturday. 2 weeks after that, we had to go to the bank so that I could organise my third-party agreement. And anyway, it was quite a stressful afternoon, and the following morning she attempted suicide.
Oh, goodness me. But the effect and the impact something like this can have, as you know yourself, is just tremendous. What happens to the individual, the person that's posing as Richie? What happens? Is he traceable? Is this because it's on a code? Is it virtually impossible to track somebody like this?
Well, we did try. We've got a friend that has a private investigator contact, and I did give the card, the contact number, and we've located it to being used from a town in China called Dalian.
Right.
So, yeah, we've took advice from Hong Kong police as well, who said that really any transactions from there, the money would be washed through to Burma and Thailand, and it's really untraceable.
Alice, we've got to try and help other people that might be watching right now.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean,
we had never heard of this scam when we talked about it yesterday, so...
And that's interesting. But I tell you who does know about it, retailers.
Right.
Every supermarket, every high street retailer that sells a gift card knows that this is a crime. This is what happens. If I go to my ATM, I've got a daily limit. If I try and get cash back at the till, I've got a limit. And yet, an 80-year-old can go time after time after time and buy huge value cards.
Was she going to the same, was she going to the
supermarket?
No, she... there are a few supermarkets that she visited frequently, but she basically went to all of the supermarkets.
So she was because she was being told don't go to the same place all the time. Maybe
I don't know that they were telling her don't go to them, but she just drifted around.
Okay.
And have a little look. I spent yesterday afternoon going through Val's bank statements and to pull out transactions that were more than £250 because many of the supermarkets had told me that they would flag that up. So you can just well, that's quite fast, but you can see. Farnborough Morrison's 400, Farnborough Morrison's 400, Waitrose Fleet 400, Morrison's Farnborough again 400. 300 transactions in that same Morrison's store for £400, and nobody thought this 80-year-old woman shouldn't be doing this. You know, Val in total spent over £31,000 in one Morrison's store.
Yeah, there has to be...
Right,
there
so
has to be
where's the
police,
protection?
doesn't it?
Is there any protection?
Well, the supermarkets were all genuinely horrified and sorry for what had happened to Val. I will read their responses. They've all said it's a known crime and Val was, you know, but they should have known. Val was repeatedly going up to them, buying those high-value cards. The British Retail Consortium has said we sympathise with victims of the scams where vulnerable individuals are often the target. Retailers are educating their staff. That's what it's about. It's about educating your staff. And I'm sorry, supermarkets, you have not got it right yet. In the one local Waitrose store, she spent over £21,000. Waitrose has said, we're really sorry to hear about this story. We've issued additional guidance to our shops and looking at what safeguards we can put in place. Morrison's, where she spent nearly £32,000 in one store, £19,000 in another Morrison's store, has said they take gift card fraud very seriously. They've also said any gift card transaction over £250 would flag up an alert. Well, I'm sorry, but yesterday afternoon, one of Debbie's relatives went into that very same Morrison's and tried to make three £300 purchases, and all of them were going to go through the till before they pulled out of the purchase. I've just got a couple more that I've got to read. Sainsbury's said, be assured we're taking this extremely seriously, fully investigating Valerie's case. We include fraud warnings at the gift card fixtures, our till systems, limit the number of gift cards that can be sold at any one time. Boots were the only company that actually stopped Valerie buying gift cards, but only after she'd spent £12,000 in one branch. But they are, and then Tesco's are investigating Miss Horwood's case and have identified a number of transactions. Tesco's are the only supermarket, actually, who have offered to give a refund and are refunding Valerie £10,000. Supermarkets, you have to step up on this. This is not good enough.
And from the head office perspective, that's one thing. Yeah, I think as a community, and as, you know, in those sort of small towns and within the area, you know, if you see the same person, like it's sort of that sort of customer.
She's chatty. She's quite, you know, she stands out, doesn't she?
She was known. They all knew. When I went round to the supermarkets to make them aware of this scam, they all knew my mum. Yeah. They knew her.
Is there any protection at all in this situation?
No, that's why this is the scam.
That's why we're here.
And that's why I got Action Fraud. There weren't any known figures. I got Action Fraud to pull those figures from last year and find out that £13.5 million was lost last year. Have the conversation with your relatives. Look after them. Make it known. You shouldn't be embarrassed. You shouldn't be, you know, feel stupid about this. This is a very, very horrible crime.
And Richie sent a message as well, hasn't he?
He did, yes. It's obviously nothing to do with Richie, but he does care very deeply about what happened to your mother.
That's kind.
I've just learned about Valerie being scammed out of a lot of money by somebody who supposedly is me. I would never reach out to somebody on the social media or the internet because I don't personally use that. I just hope that they catch the thief that's done this and that she gets her health back and everything works out fine. So all the best, Richie Blackmore.
Thank you. Hopefully your mum will watch that and get some sort of comfort. Thank you so much for coming in, Debbie.
And please send our love to your mum.
I will do.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. If you've been affected by anything we've spoken about here, please do go to our free This Morning app, where there are helplines and charities you can reach out to.
Yes.